Hello and welcome to Feed Media Group Live. At Feed Media Group, we are the company making business-to-business music integrations happen. We sit at the edge of music and technology, and we're very excited to have a special live presentation today from our good friends that participated in a conference called Measure of Music. If you're not familiar, please check it out, measureofmusic.com. It's all things music and data. And Christine Azois, who puts this together, does an amazing job of bringing together people from all across the industry, from all across the globe, to talk about things happening in music with the specific twist of looking at the data behind it, which is, of course, more and more important as it becomes this global thing that's living in many different environments. And it's a very unique conference. Feed Media Group got involved in the second year. I thought music and data and technology, like this is where we live. And I could tell right away that it was a very unique conference. It happens online. And it just really dives into topics that you don't see at any other music conference. And it also has a hackathon component. And that's where this conversation is coming up today. This is Team Collaborata, who I'm going to introduce you to. And they participated in the hackathon. They came up with the winning pitch or idea for a music product. And so I'll let these guys give you the fill-in, but they're going to present their winning presentation and talk a little bit about their experience. So thank you for joining us today, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Saskia, do you want to start out and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about how you got involved?
Yeah. So hi, everyone. Thanks very much for having us. And I'm 1/5 of the Collaborata team. In my day-to-day job, I am a research analyst at Luminate, which was also one of the companies that got involved with Measure of Music. But I had also heard of the conference a year ago, and I wanted to participate then, but I couldn't quite find the time. So this year I was like, no, it has to happen. And I'm really glad I did it because I got to meet some really lovely people. And with that, I'll pass to one of those lovely people, Rashmi.
Hi, I'm Rashmi. So I'm pursuing my master's degree in data science in Berlin. And yeah, basically looking for opportunities to start a career in tech. I saw Measure of Music as a unique opportunity to combine my expertise in data analysis and my love for music and the creative energy of the music industry to make a more meaningful contribution to, that could shape the future of music. I believe that data has the power to transform the music industry in exciting ways, and I wanted to be a part of that transformation. Over to you, Aaron.
Thanks. So I'm Aaron. I'm a software engineer in Hamburg, Germany, currently working at the Clue. But in the past, I also worked in music licensing. So for me, Measure of Music is like probably the best opportunity to combine those two professions. And this was already my second year participating, and I'm glad to come back for a third time.
That's great. And yeah, I mean, you mentioned it, Saskia, it takes time, right? I mean, you guys have to make a commitment over this weekend. It's a weekend kind of crash course conference, as well as making time to work on your projects. So thank you for putting the time and effort in. It seems like you've all had a great experience. So without further ado, let's jump in and hear your pitch idea that you came up with.
Great. So I'll just start sharing my screen.
Excellent.
Great. So hello, everyone. Our team pitch was called Collaborata, and it is an artist matching tool that will facilitate international artist collaborations and make them more accessible. So during the hackathon, it wasn't just us, coming up with our own ideas. There was also a plethora of discussions and panel talks that you could attend for free. So another reason to go to Measure of Music as a conference. And one of those panel discussions was titled People and Platforms, and it was hosted by the singer-songwriter Estee Blue. And one of the things that she said that really stuck out to me was that collaboration is a really important action that artists should consider when entering an international market that they're unfamiliar with. So even in the early stages, an artist can have fans from around the world these days, and many of those artists want to expand that fan base, but they lack the organic connections and the knowledge of cultural trends that they typically have in their local market. So the problem that we wanted to solve was, how can an artist find their perfect collaborator in an international market? And our solution is to match artists with the most compatible artists from the market that they aim to break into based on their relative sound and size. Over to you, Rashmi.
Thanks, Saskia. So, to answer the question of how do you find the best artists to collaborate with, we started by asking ourselves, asking our users, who could be basically artists, a manager, or even a record label, to provide us with the genre that they specialize in, the stage at which they are in their careers, and the market that they would like to expand into. We also asked the target genre that they're looking to collaborate on, as collaborations among artists of different genres is very common. With this information, we can narrow our search to relevant artists and share their information to facilitate contact between these artists. Finally, we compute a compatibility score by assessing the likelihood of a successful collaboration. All right, enough talking. Let's just see how Collaborata works with the live demo. So we start off on the home page where we can see a brief description of our product. As an artist, I can provide my information. So let's say I'm Fave. Uh, my favorite genre is pop, and I'm looking to collaborate on rock. And I would like to say, let's say, expand into the United States. So we put all of our information in and see what the app generates for us. So here's a list of artists or app things you can collaborate with a compatibility score. So now I'll pass on to Aaron to explain the methodology behind the matching process.
Yeah, thanks. So now for a quick tech part. So the website that you just saw, which is in tech terms called a front end, is a React application. There, the data that you put into is sent to the backend, for which we use Flask. And from there, we query data from the Chartmetric API. The backend is also where we calculate the compatibility score. For this score, we are also using data from Luminate. And for this project, we're using statistical analysis to calculate the score, but we also started working on a machine learning model, which we unfortunately didn't pursue further due to data limitations that we couldn't resolve in the short amount of time. But some of the key features that we base the score on would be genre, career stage, location, or fan base. So now that we got the tech sorted out, we can look at the business application. So on the business side, Collaborata is useful for many players in the industry, and we've identified some real-life examples of where Collaborata could help artists and industry professionals. So, for example, for A&R managers, we can streamline the discovery process and make decisions based on the quantifiable comparison of collaboration success potential. Artist managers or bookers can use Collaborata to source support acts or target festival lineups. For example, Tumblr is a small management and label services company that manages the R&B singer Faye. And Collaborata could act as a comparison tool for Tumblr to determine which markets to prioritize for her. And finally, for independent artists, artists can discover other artists from target markets at a similar career stage. And this is useful because other independent artists matching specific criteria are usually hard to stumble on.
So in the short time that we had, we ran into quite a few limitations. Initially, we defined a successful collaboration to simply be a song that contributed not only to an increase in streams for both artists, but also growth in social following. But it's clearly a difficult question to answer quantifiably. Success can be subjective, and intangible factors like The chemistry between musicians, different working styles, and changing market trends are hard to calculate. Finally, in terms of our model, we see data collection to be a big hurdle. Some factors, such as personality or creativity, are difficult to measure, while others, such as branding or fan base, can be difficult to collect accurately. In the future, we think adding more features to the platform will add value by not only facilitating artists connect better, but also to help identify unexpected mutual connections. In order to monetize Collaborata, we believe an enhanced compatibility score would work well as a paid feature.
So thanks very much for listening, and thanks to the fact that we won a year's worth of Chartmetric access, our demo should be live and available for you to access through the QR code if you scan it. And thank you very much for listening, and the rest of our lovely team who couldn't make it today, you can see them on the screen now.
This is great. I love that the demo is up and available for people to check out. If anyone wants to invest and help these guys bring this to life, please send a message. I'll make sure it gets through to them. Tell me a little bit about your experience. I know, Aaron, you were kind of coming back as a second year. Was there something that, surprised you about this year, that was different from your experience last year?
I guess the biggest difference is like the experience that you bring with it. Like the first year I participated, it was my first hackathon overall, so I didn't really knew what I was getting into. So this year it was a lot easier for me, I guess. But I guess the biggest surprise is always the team you get matched up with. So it's always random. I think you can pick like certain people that you would want to work with, but like for me, it was random both times. And both times I was very lucky to have like a team with a very distributed skill set. Yeah, I guess this is like always a surprise every year.
And does anyone have any advice for someone who's thought about doing a hackathon, but maybe isn't sure about signing up for their first one?
Yeah, I would say just do it. So I think if you see the hackathon and see, oh, it's a data hackathon or a music hackathon, maybe you think, oh, I don't have data skills, or I don't have software skills or music skills or whatsoever. I think everyone brings something to the table. And from my experience, I think which is probably like one of the most important skills is project management, which is something that you probably wouldn't think of if you do a software project. But yeah, that's probably just do it. Like you can only gain something.
Rashmi, you've done a few hackathons. I think that you would have a good answer to this.
I think, in my opinion, it's to be open-minded and collaborative. So yeah, so ironic that we are building Collaborata. Yeah, but one of the best things about hackathons is that it's an opportunity to work with people from different backgrounds and different skill sets. So be open to new ideas and willing to collaborate to solve problems and learn as much as you can, because it's a short time, so you can take advantage of a lot of resources like we did. We had a bunch of APIs. We got calls with our mentors and things like that, which is really hard to do outside of this platform. So take advantage of all of the resources that they provide, and yeah, then have fun. If yeah, like we did. I think you guys agree that it is intense and fast paced, but it's also take the time to enjoy the experience and get to know your team and the people around you.
Yeah, I think for Measure of Music specifically too, I mean, it was great to see you guys using both Chartmetric and Luminate, who were sponsors that provided some tools for you. It's a great way to tap into, some of the tools that are available, and also for businesses to get involved. So it was really fun to see that woven into your presentation. And Saskia, what do you think, when you look back at your weekend long, it's been a couple of weeks now, it's settled in, but what did you most take out of your experience participating this year?
I definitely think it planted some seeds in my head of what I could potentially like do in a few years' time. I think that it's a really kind of fast-paced, intense environment to learn about the music industry and about the tech industry. And I think it's just such a great opportunity to dip your toe into something. So I've been learning a little bit of coding for the past like year and a half, but I've never really felt that confident to apply it into, you know, real life. And while I didn't actually have to code a single line for this project, thanks to Aaron, Rashmi, and Larry, I could kind of understand and follow their work as they were kind of updating me on everything. And so it was really motivational to work alongside people who've kind of taken a career into tech. And yeah, kind of it's an inspiring weekend, basically. So yeah, I can't really say enough about it. And I think that it really has altered what I'm currently working towards.
That's great. Rashmi, Aaron, any main takeaways from this year?
I guess I can just underline Rashmi's point from earlier, like just be open, because also when we like first brainstormed, okay, what could we do for a project, we also like first I think we wanted to do like someone wants to do something with touring or with like already with matching artists or just like an interest, okay, like just do an analysis of like certain artists. And we just like mashed all those ideas together and like built pretty much our core value, like matching artists from different territories with each other. And I guess we did a good job of sticking to that core idea and building like a prototype from it or of it. And then we just like added feature by feature, but like we always made sure that we stuck to our core idea, which I think is probably pretty important. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, again, I go for it.
I'd like to add to that is that I think the end goal also is to create value. So in a hackathon like this, they just tell you, oh, this is all the data, and go crazy. And it's really hard to sort of narrow down, which is why we ended up with a mashed idea. But we always had this of like, what is the value that we are creating in the end? And maybe I think focusing on that, keeping that in mind from the start will help you, I think, develop a solution that is both maybe innovative and practical.
So true. So true. This is great. Any closing thoughts? Anything else that you guys would like to say about Measure of Music or your time working together?
Yeah, I'd actually like to point out one of the really special aspects of participating in Measure of Music is its global nature. I think that there were like almost 100 or more than 100 countries present in Measure of Music, and our team specifically, I'm from the UK. Aaron, Rashmi, and Larry are based in Germany, and our other team member, Trust, is in Nigeria. And I think that international aspect really played to our strengths in our idea, and also everything coming together. And it was also really cool to see other people's presentations as well, because there were teams that were in completely different time zones to us, and the music industry is a really small place, and so it really benefits when you've got people from other music industries from different countries coming together and saying, oh, we kind of like approach things slightly differently here, or this is our like issue that we're trying to fight. And the presence of data isn't equal everywhere, especially like in music. So that was really cool to have people from different backgrounds and different countries contributing to that kind of conversation. And I think you don't really get that in other conferences.
Yeah, the virtual nature, and I mean, let's face it, Christine, right? Like Christine is an amazing force within the industry, and she's built this event, and you can really tell that inclusivity and having a diverse set of people participating is really important to her. It's really important to her to help bring different opinions and ideas and people together to make this industry work. So it's really satisfying to watch it all come together. We did get one question from Corey on LinkedIn, who wants to know if your tool is based on active collaboration, or if perhaps another use case would be using it for legacy catalog, for example, playlisting capacities and finding similar artists to share with work that's already been created.
Yeah, maybe I can answer that. So yes, it also uses catalog data. So since we use two data sources, Chartmetric is pretty much every collaboration out there, both past and current. For Luminate, I think we looked at the current top 50,000 songs of last year, which of course also includes collaborations from way back in the past that are just currently still popular. But at the end of the day, you can apply the technology to any data set that you have. So if you want to limit the data to until a specific date, then of course you can do that.
That's great. Thanks for the question, Corey. Excellent. Well, we're just about at time. Any closing statements?
Shout out to Christine.
We hope to see you all at Measure of Music next year. Check it out at measureofmusic.com. Also, if you're interested in learning more about Feed Media Group, we're also at feedmediagroup.com. And Saskia, I know you're working at Luminate. So be sure to check out Measure of Music. Check out all of the great sponsors, Chartmetric, there's Museo. There's so many people involved bringing the data together to help build the future of music. So thank you for attending. Thanks for taking the time today to share your project with us. And we hope to see you guys all there next year.
Thank you so much. Goodbye.
Thank you.
Bye.